Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Emergent Gamer Podcast, episode 292. I'm one of your hosts, Neo Ayoshi, joined by some cool dudes. Felix Aragood.
Hey, how you doing, Neo Ayoshi?
It's me, and you
fuck your name up all the
got
time.
my name.
Oh God, you
And
were trying so
Trip
hard. Hi guys, I'm Trip Zero. What's going on? Thanks for listening. You were so close, Felix. You were so close, man.
Neo Ayoshi.
It was like watching the track and field guys doing the hurdles, and you just tripped over that final hurdle. You know?
It's just the letters that are in his name. You say them individually. A-O-She.
That's the easiest way of doing it. Yeah, it's
in Japanese. All the sounds are the same. All the sounds are the same. So A-O-She, A-O-She. It'll never change.
Neo Ayoshi.
Perfect. Nailed it.
You also like leaning forward too. I can tell you're about to try something because you have this like slight body lean. Just like it's not even like you don't even know you're doing it probably. But I saw you like, and I was like, he's gonna say something he's not unsure of. And then we got Ayoshi.
Hey guys.
Ayoshi.
Hey guys, I lost 15 pounds on my water diet.
Damn.
Wow, dude. Congrats.
Damn.
Yeah, your water diet, aka cutting out soda.
I'm drinking Hint now, which has no sweeteners. This is not an advertisement, but it kind of is. No calories, no sweeteners, no
Hashtag
nothing.
Not
But it has fruit flavoring. It's an infusion. So this is blackberry. I'm drinking.
Hint sponsor Felix specifically.
Hint. It's amazing.
I'm proud of you, Felix. That's great.
Yeah, man, that's dope.
That's great. Making some healthy choices, and it's paying off. And
yeah,
how do you feel? You feel good?
Yeah, I feel great. I don't have headaches every day, so that's cool. It's clearly clearly the sugar was going right to my head.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at like just the millions of people that feel like shit when they're consuming stuff like that every day, and they're just like, I don't know what's happening in my life, and it's so clear the connection that happens like that when you make a change.
Yeah, so, I'm proud of you. If you didn't know, guys, this is the Emergent Gamer Podcast. You can find us on podcast services around the globe. Search for us everywhere. Subscribe on YouTube. Get us to past that 100 subscriber mark, and give us that URL. And that's it. Give us likes, subscribe, rate us high, and join us and enjoy the show.
Tell your damn friends about us. That's it.
Tell your damn friends about us.
Tell your damn friends about us. I sound very old.
You're muted.
And your mom, very important.
And your mom. Yes.
And your mom.
All right, who wants to go first, you guys? Who's got some gaming stuff to share?
Let me go first. That way, because I do want to hear what you guys were talking about, and my story is relatively short, but still very exciting. And I do want to share. If you've been listening to the show, you know that I have been streaming and working on the 100% run of Stardew Valley, and I'm nearly at the end of this run. I have everything set up for success for this run that I can, right? So like I've got to cook every meal in the game. And I have grown all the food and the ingredients to be ready to cook all of the meals in the game, right? Like I'm prepared to go at a moment's notice to finish off my objectives in this 100%. But one of the objectives is to complete the museum in the game. There's a museum in the town where you can fill it up with all kinds of artifacts that you find. And there's an item in the game called artifacts, right? Like it's a special category, and it's like bones you can find, like animal things, ancient swords, or like dolls, or like you just find things like you're a mini archaeologist, and you give them to the museum guy. Well, there was this one artifact that the game would refuse to give me, this ancient sword. It only spawns in very specific areas of the map, and the percentage chance of finding it varies per season because of other things that can drop in the places you have to dig for it. So this is the purest RNG in the game, and it's one of the only things that was holding me back in the 100%. Well, on Monday night, I dug in a spot in Pelican Town, and out popped this artifact. And I lost my shit, dude. The place where I dug it up specifically had a 0.3% chance of it appearing there. In the specific spot that I got it. 0.3%. in one of the
That's
lowest chance seasons. Now it's not that insane because I've been spending every day digging in every single spot, just trying to get this thing to pop out. And I'm in year 4 of the game. Right. And I've gotten duplicate artifacts. I've gotten so many other things multiple times, but this one specific item, the game refused to give it to me. But I got it. I nailed it. It's just such a big hurdle gone. So I can just like chill and finish up the rest of the run.
So what is the significance of this artifact?
It's that I can complete the museum collection. That was the last thing I needed. And then that unlock. It's just something I have to do in the 100%. That gives me a reward. That gives me a reward that I need to earn. And yeah, the only things I have left now are being friends with everyone in the town, filling the hearts up to 100%, maintaining relationships, and then
does that
cooking
require
the
you,
food
like,
they give me.
talking to them and giving them gifts and
Yep, exactly.
dating them? I don't know.
Stuff like that.
I've never played Stardew Valley, so this makes it very...
Yeah. It's, I mean, the 100% is pretty comprehensive. You have to do nearly everything in the game. But yeah, some of the higher work processes you have to finish. Like, there's a marriage reward for a certain marriage level. You have to like marry someone in the town, then you earn the reward for a certain level of that. Again, the museum collection, so much of it is RNG. So that's got to be completed. And I'm just glad all of the RNG stuff is now, it's gone. It's gone. It's out. Everything else that I have to do in the game, I have a very specific path forward to obtain. And I will be done the 100% now. Small chance of it being tomorrow, but probably Monday. And the fact that I've hit this moment after such a long time, I am so excited.
Damn. So how much left do you have then?
According to the game, officially it's 14% is how much that's left. But all that is, what that actually translates to in a tangible number is I have to craft one more thing, which needs a specific item I have to farm in the mines. So that's one thing I have to craft. And it's being friends with like 10 people, like maximizing 10 friendships. And then I have to get my marriage up to 12.5 hearts to get the marriage reward that increases your health and your energy and stuff. And that's it. That's literally it. And then the 100% will be done. And some new magical things that I've stayed blind on will unlock in the game. I'll be able to experience them and also move on with my goddamn life.
You sound a little bit like Felix Hergood. What is this newfound obsession with trophy hunting?
It was such a cool focal point to go into after playing the year 1 challenge that I started back in January. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like play an in-game year, try to like complete the main story, which is saving the community center. Do that in a year, easy. You know, we gamed. And then it's like, what else are we going to do? There's an official 100% in this. So let's rip that. And it just became a thing.
That's cool.
It's very cool. I mean,
that's Stardew Valley is...
It really is the game that keeps on giving. Like, I even discover things in this 100% run that I never knew happened in the game. I'm certainly seeing story and cutscenes with people in the town that I've never gotten to know, which alone is amazing. There's just so much. It's so dense. And people come into my stream that don't know Stardew, and they're like, oh, this is cool. Is this like a Harvest Moon or like Animal Crossing? I'm like, yes, but I'm about to go in the mines and now it's going to look like Zelda. You know, like now I'm going to have this very in-depth like fishing simulator for a super long time. I'm going to craft a bunch of stuff now and design my, like, there's so many layers to this.
Yeah, it becomes Minecraft when you start farming, right? Like it becomes like, it molds into whatever the game wants to be at the time, or what you want it to be.
Those are the best games, man. That's what GTA is. It's a bunch of mini games mixed into a fucking shooter, mixed into a... It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Driving game. It can be a racing game. Yeah.
It is a racing game for a lot of people.
It's a good example.
Hours doing racing.
Yeah. So that's it. It's literally days away. I would be very surprised if by next show, I'm not done this 100%.
If you're not done it,
I'd be very surprised if I'm not done. Yep.
Because I was going to ask you, because you've been doing this since January, you said. What's next for the Trip Zero stream?
It's a great question. I don't know what's next truly long term. I know Pokemon Snap I want to play, which comes out very soon. Whenever I'm done the 100%, like whenever I am done that night, I'm going to go, and I've been preparing this game, I'm going to go right into 102 Dalmatians, the PlayStation 1 classic. And I'm going to do a little speed run run of this game. No, I swear to God, I'm going to play this game.
This is a Kevin Oates move. This is a Kevin Oates move for real.
What?
So that's going to be fun and very goofy.
Is that one of those really hard early Disney games?
Yeah. But like the production quality of this is pretty impressive. Voice acting, really good animations, like a sleeper hit you would never expect, and no one played because it was like a movie branded game.
Yeah, like back in the day, I played Aladdin and I played
Lion King, probably.
Lion King.
Yeah, this is a 3D one from the PlayStation 1 era, but like it's got a lot of it's like imagine Spyro, but you're playing like as like a puppy finding things around the world. Like that's kind of the vibe of the game. So I'm gonna try to learn and do like a fun little speed run, just to bridge the gap and change it up a little bit.
Funny. Felix,
like I really don't have a desire to like grind any. Like I'm not gonna try to like play Outriders and fucking. I have no desire to do that. I want to have a really fun time on the stream.
I have a tweet in my drafts right now. It's that kombucha girl that does like the like that face, like that meme face.
Exactly.
I'll probably tweet this later, so no one steal this. It was gonna be me every time I think about playing Outriders, and it just goes back and forth between her going like exactly. That is constantly how I feel about it.
Because
Outriders.
It's not good, or
no. I see it, and people talk about
there's so much. There's so much to unpack there.
Great.
Yeah.
And the gameplay is like fun, and then there's server problems, and then there's parts of it that aren't good, and then I'm like, it looks like every other game I've played, and then like people are like, wow, it's really fun to play with friends, and then you get disconnected from the server, and like I'm just like, yes, but no, but yes. I don't know.
I don't really have any interest in that game at all.
I feel that, yeah.
Is that weird?
No, but on the note of the old games, Felix, did you know that they released the Disney Afternoon Collection and they remastered?
Yes, I did. I believe Kevin Oates mentioned that to me.
Yeah,
I think somebody mentioned it to me. And where can I buy that?
It's a good collection on any of the stores. I think you can
get
buy it
on
anywhere.
the Switch.
Wherever video games are sold.
No, I want to play it on the Switch if I'm going to play it.
I believe so. Yeah, and they added features like rewind time and like you can do like state saves, so you can save it like I think it's like an emulator, right? Like you can save it in any state you want to. So like, shit, man, I played Aladdin. I didn't play Lion King as much, but like, oh no, I did. I remember because you collected the little face drawings, the little Simba face drawings. Yeah.
My only problem with retro gaming, any kind of side scrollers, this is unless I'm doing it with somebody else, like playing like Contra with Kevin Oates or something like that. I don't have the attention fucking span for it in my own personal life. Like
save states might change that for you.
I use
just
save
pause the
states.
game exactly where it is. Come back to it later.
I'm using a save. I used a save state in fucking Castlevania and fucked myself. I'm stuck in this goddamn position where I'm never gonna beat the boss, and I don't have enough of those fucking crosses and the whole whatever the fuck you need to kill.
Well, it sounds like you would have to do what they did back in the olden days and
start over.
Hit the reset button, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna have to happen. But
all right, who's next?
Felix.
So, like life is just, continuing to grind out baseball game after baseball game in my current season as the Phillies, playing with my team, I got Kevin Oates on the team. I got fucking...
How's he doing? How's his productivity? How's his at-bat percentage?
Kevin is currently the starting... Like, he was on the bench when he started on the team. He is now the starting third baseman. Like,
you love to see it, man. You love to see the progress.
I made him so he could hit home runs every now and then. So he has a couple home runs this year. He's ran the bases. I made him kind of fast so he can do like triples. He gets triples more than other players. So like,
I don't know why, but I had this image of you as Anthony Hopkins from Westworld talking about your creations, but your creation is Kevin Oates in his baseball game, and you're really, really proud of him. Talking about the speed you gave him and the ability to hit home runs, and
because
I love my child.
The only stuff in the entire franchise season, and for anyone listening right now who hasn't listened to the last 20 shows, I only play franchise mode. I don't play Road to the Show. I don't play any of that home run derby shit. I don't do any of that. I play franchise. And I automate everything about the franchise except for the hitting and the pitching. The pitching is manual, the hitting is manual. So when players are up, I swing the bat for them. And when I don't skip games either. I don't do that shit. I play every game in the season.
Attaboy.
But I just, it's a lot of fun. It's easy. It's not one of these things. Playing a game of baseball takes 45 minutes, So I can play it right before I'm going to make dinner or whatever.
Whereas, you're like in and out.
Whereas the other thing that I'm playing right now, which is more of my long spurts of time, is the Final Fantasy VII, which we've mentioned on a couple of shows. I've now gotten past the part, and I don't, at this point, I've been spoiled on essentially the end of the entire game because I watched a video where they referenced events in, I don't know how this game's going to end, but
they the original you're talking.
They referenced all these crazy events from the original, so one of the most shocking moments I've been spoiled on, which is going to suck when that happens. It doesn't.
Oh, no, I know exactly which one.
It clearly doesn't.
Like the twist now of the game's primary plot, right?
Not that. I don't fully understand that. No, I'm talking about the moment with the,
I think I was talking about that. I said it wrong, and I know the thing you thought I was thinking of, but yes.
I watched a video. I watched a video online, and somebody was they said spoilers in the beginning, but I didn't realize that was going to be the spoiler. And they showed the footage of it happening, and I'm just like,
It's weird being in a position now that Final Fantasy VII is currently being remade. And talking about a 20-year-old game at this point,
I know it's
kind of considered spoiling the game at this point. Even though, yes, the remake is different in a lot of ways, which we'll talk about when you're done.
That moment's going to be in the later game thing.
Is it?
Create. I don't know, or it might not be.
1,000. They show you glimpses of it in this game.
Yeah, but they also. You listen to our spoiler cast. Listen to the spoiler
I will,
talk
but
I had.
The thing that I just witnessed was the part where Aerith is. This is what I just played. The part where Aerith is standing. Cloud and Barrett and Tifa make it back to Aerith's house, talk to the mom, and then the mom says you should spend the night here. And then Cloud wakes up in the middle of the night after having a weird dream. And he looks down the staircase and sees Aerith like walking through the living room or whatever of the house, and she's not with them. She's been captured, right? So then there's this.
It's a mini game. It's a mini game of you sneaking out. Is that the mini game?
No, there's no mini game. You literally just walk out of the house, and then you see in the field of flowers where Aerith is based. She's standing there, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And Cloud's like, "What the fuck?" And your command is to walk over to where she is, and then she proceeds to talk in a very what's the adjective word of
ominous?
No,
is it ominous?
What's the adjective?
Prescient?
Prescient. She speaks in a prescient way about the moments in the future.
What is that word?
Like
define that for me.
Things that for like talk about the future, things that are for things
like you're having a premonition. Like premonition's the noun. I couldn't think of what the adjective was.
Something that's prescient is like it's a harbinger of something to come, good or bad. Like visionaries will be prescient because they're good at predicting things that happen. I'm gonna stop.
For me, the most powerful scene thus far between Cloud and Aerith was this scene, and then at the end of it, she just fucking vanishes, right? And that, because I knew the spoiler, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here because they're pointing to the future and shit that could happen. So anyway, I'm still on board. That's where I am in the story. I saw the big drop. I bore witness to that. That caused all the destruction.
The plate
drop. Yeah, the plate drop.
Plate drop is wild, man. That in the remake, like that was one of the moments that really hit. when I was playing
when
this
you
game.
played the original game, you didn't see all the details of them trying to fight up the tower and all that shit.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you do that?
You did. You
But
fight up the tower. You have a boss. You fight Reno and Rude up on the top. You do the whole thing. They escape on the helicopter. It's pretty much beat for beat. But of course, the detail that they go into in the remake is just an insane level.
Yeah, you like see the tragedy and like you feel it a lot more from like the emotion of Barrett, and like the characters portray a lot clearer in this version how serious like that was. Like in the original game, like I know you played it recently, Trip, but like the original game, like it's kind of like another set piece that you just kind of continue on through, right? Like
I mean, it is a pretty big moment.
It's
it's one of the bigger cutscenes in the beginning, because
the video I was watching, they gave me the impression that people were shocked when it happened.
I mean, I was when I first played it. Like,
oh, shit.
and you ride off on the thing, the zip line, or I think it was more of a hook in the original game. Not important.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the plate falls and there's like things are collapsing. There's explosions and like you hear people like cry out, and then it pans up into the Shinra headquarters and you see the president watching, listening to violin music. Like they hit all the real important emotional beats that they had to. And then Barrett has his moment where he's like screaming for Marlene, thinking she's dead, shooting at the rubble. They did a really good job of presenting like the tragedy of that moment. But yeah, the remake with today's technology, obviously you can just express so much more and really paint that picture.
Yeah. So now I'm in the part right after that where the game basically told me, it said, if you go to the Shinra headquarters to finish the game, you can't complete all these like side story missions where you help people in the slums. So I'm just systematically looking for those, like help.
Okay.
One guy's like, find my 3 chocobos, and now that's opened like the fast travel around that area.
Yep.
So like
yeah,
now,
so you're like about to hit Act 3 of the game.
yeah, the final act. That's what I figured, because it's basically doing what like Cyberpunk did. If you go forward from this, you will never be able to complete anything else because the game will
But don't let that trick you. You're not like nearly done. I'd say you're about halfway through the game, maybe. Like the Shinra headquarters is such a dense part, and in this remake, they elongate it, and they add things, like they add elements of later in the game into this moment. Like it's like you're about to get into the shit like in a fun way. Like you've got a lot of the game to do. Don't think you're done.
No, I didn't think I was done. I just thought we were coming into the final part of the story. But yeah, and I'm a completionist, so they keep telling me that there's these missions I got to clear. So I'm like, fuck, I'll clear these missions. I mean, keep telling me I got to clear missions. I'm gonna fucking do it. But yeah, it's fun. I haven't fought any bosses that have caused me the nightmare that the Hell House caused me, though.
There's one. I'm
sure there's gonna be. I'm sure there's gonna be more, but.
Well, who's the monster in the basement, Trip? Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I fought that. In the sewers? In the sewers below Wall Market? That one?
Are you talking about the research lab?
Oh, you're talking about Shinra.
No. There's a sub boss in the basement of one of the areas. I don't remember. It's been a year now.
Oh, so. No. I don't think he came back to that. You come back to that. Like they shoehorn that in a way I wasn't expecting. You didn't go back to Sector 7, did you, Felix? No, he just got covered in rubble for him.
Yeah.
So. So.
All right, that is another boss I struggled on.
Are you talking about? Well, hold on. Are you talking about the part where I have to go get Wedge? And there's like a thing that looks like the alien.
This is a side boss. Yeah.
I think that is.
Yeah.
Did you go down into like a research lab?
Yeah, and it has all these like little guys that look like it, and it's really big, and then it starts fucking up the upstairs platform, and then Tifa gets stuck up there, and Barrett's on the ground. That's how it happened for me, anyway.
It's Bahamut, right? No, it's not Bahamut. It's
I don't know the names of these fucking things. There's so many of them.
Yeah, the monster. There's
tell me what it does. Does it?
It runs around and it's really fucking annoying to fight.
You're talking about the one in the big room, Neil? Like just a big enclosed room.
Yep.
Right.
That's where I was when I fought this.
Underground.
Yeah, because Wedge was down there.
Yes. Yeah, that was the Wedge centric.
And the thing has the enemy's like mostly black and it's got purple in it. That one.
I forget visually. It's been a while for that, but
yeah,
Man, I wish I remember what
I
the
did
monster's
not
name was.
have too much trouble with that one at all. Like I was
Oh
prepared.
yeah,
and
it.
fucked that. I fucked that up with Barrett. Barrett fucking dropped a big old deuce in its fucking lab.
Failed Experiment is the name officially.
That's exactly what I
Mm.
fought. Yeah, I fought that in the basement. That one, Neo, I didn't have any problem with. I beat it first time out. Like, no issue.
I struggled on that one.
Yeah.
I think it took me like 2 tries.
No, I did it on the first
2
try.
deaths ended
that
on my
one.
3rd try. Yeah.
I know for a fact that one was fucking something that I completed.
Oh, wait,
it was a pain in the dick. It was a pain in the dick.
It's not Failed Experiment. It's not.
It's
Failed
not?
Experiment.
So it's a different one.
Mm-mm. Yep. It's Type Zero Behemoth.
And that's coming up probably.
Oh, that is
That's
the one you're
boss.
talking about. Yeah.
That doesn't
Not
sound
Bahamut.
familiar to me. That doesn't sound familiar to me. So
Yeah, it's a sub boss.
okay, I'll find out.
You'll find it. Don't you worry.
I'll get
And then
there.
you'll tell us about it. I'm sure you will.
Oh yeah.
So moving on, I just
Yeah.
want
Moving on. I'm
Rip
done.
it.
I'm done.
to briefly talk about a new game I played. I'm still playing Monster Hunter, so I already talked about that. It's great. Still an amazing game. I got to play on Monday. It Takes Two.
Oh
Which
yeah, you
is-
did mention you were gonna play this.
Yeah, so Quill of our Discord was nice enough to let me try out the Steam Friend feature. It's called
Mhm.
like Friend Link. And
Yeah,
what that-
that's how they advertise you connect with people with It Takes Two.
it's great. Like you don't need to own the game. He owns the game, and what he does is he goes, you install it, right? And then he invites you to his game, and it lets you play as if you guys are sitting together on the couch. It's amazing. So I have it. I installed it on my computer, and Monday night we streamed it, and we got to play like the first like 3 or 4 hours of the game. I gotta say, like it works really well. Like that's impressive that Steam like did that and added that as a feature. I love it. Sony advertised that as a feature of their games for a while, but I haven't even. I don't think I've used it. I don't think I've used it in any meaningful way.
I haven't
Really
either.
to do like
Didn't know that was a thing until
It
this
was
game
called
came out. I
Game-
was like,
it
this
was
is how
called-
you meet up with friends.
It was called Game Share through
game share.
yeah.
But
through Sony.
it was only one person needs to own the game, and then they can be invited to the game. And like that was like one of the advertising points from the PS4 era. I remember that being like a huge thing. But
and then it
Takes
just kind of
Two-
fell off. I tried it once and then it fell off.
Yeah, and not a whole lot of things like support. I don't know. I just never tried. I don't know. I can't really claim that nothing supported it because I didn't try. But It Takes Two, though. This is Josef Fares's new game, the Fuck the Oscars guy from the Game Awards. That game is fun. It is he poses it as a comedy, like what's that movie genre called? Oh my god, it's like a love comedy. What is that called? Romantic comedy.
I was like,
couldn't.
what is he mentioning?
I couldn't.
You
get
sounded
through
like someone trying to translate from another language. You're like, what is the concept? You call it a love comedy.
a love comedy. Yeah, romantic comedy.
Yeah.
And it's about the game's premise is two parents to this girl are getting a divorce. They're in the process of splitting up and separating, and they sit their daughter down and they tell her that, hey, look, we're separating, we still love you very much, all the normal divorce things that you would tell a child, I guess. And what ends up happening is she cries over two of her dolls that she's made, and you and the parents wake up in these dolls' bodies, and you get to play as one of the dolls. And it's cool because each doll has different specific functions.
Mm-hmm.
And what ends up happening is the game is constantly in split screen, so you always see what the other person is doing.
They do the Portal 2 style, right? The vertical split in the middle.
Well, Portal 2 did it so well. If you were playing on console, I think that's how it was. I think, but
yeah,
on
split screen
PC
was vertical, so you could see like more of just the aiming up and down of all the just massive spaces you had to negotiate.
on PC you like held the tab button for Portal 2, and it would show you what your partner was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So you still got your full screen in PC mode. It is honestly, it's more like his other games. A Way Out, which was always split screen, and it pulled focus. So like a line was in the middle of the screen, and it would pull focus to whoever required focus.
Yeah.
And it does that here too. And for example, like on the first few levels, the game is really smart with the mechanics that it presents you, because it constantly gives you new mechanics and it forces you to work with your partner, which is amazing.
That's kind of like
example.
That's kind of like his game A Way Out.
It's probably I need to play that game after playing like 4 hours of this game. I need to go back and check that game out, because like if this guy is that into co-op and keeping co-op gaming like that alive, yeah, I love it. Like I love that idea. For example, one of the mechanics they throw at you early on, one of the characters gets a hammerhead, like a literal hammerhead, and the other character gets nails that they throw and they can recall. So what you do is one character is creating pathways for the other character to use the hammer to like kind of like hook it and like throw themselves, and then the other person recalls them. And it becomes like a platformer puzzle solving experience where you both need to work together, and it lives up to its promise of as being like a funny game with like constant banter. There's a book that like sounds like Antonio Banderas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's constantly taunting you, being like, "Oh, I'm the Book of Love, and I'm going to keep you guys together because
that's like the goal. The story goal is like we're gonna fix it all, right?"
Yeah, and they're like dead set on being like, "Look, we're divorcing, so like I don't know what you're trying here, but the book is like, I only believe in love, and your goal is to get back to your daughter to somehow reverse the spell of these dolls that you've been turned into." Another cool mechanic that I've experienced so far is one character gets this like honey gun. It's like explosive honey, and you coat things in the honey. And the other character, which was who I played as the wife, and she shoots like little fire matchsticks, and that it ignites the honey. So one person has to coat things in the honey, and the other person needs to detonate it, essentially.
Sounds like marriage.
Really fun boss fights. Like each chapter has like an awesome boss fight that requires each person's new mechanic to be used during the game.
Sorry, what is this game called again? Sorry.
It's
I got up to get a water and I come back and I don't know.
You gotta get a snack and some shit. And
it's fine. It's okay. I have to use the bathroom in a second, but it's called It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Yeah. I remember you said that.
And
I mean,
it's great.
Games where you do that, and it can be played locally, right? Local co-op.
It's local and it's online co-op. Yeah.
Because A Way Out is not online co-op. You can't play that unless you're sitting local.
Oh, that's local only. Yeah, I didn't even buy the game. Quail literally invited me to his game, and I was able to play it on my computer. It was awesome. My first time doing that.
That's cool.
But overall, I think I'm going to do it again. I think next Monday we're going to stream It Takes Two again on my channel. And it was a lot of fun. Like that game makes you think about just like solving puzzles together. And that's what I loved about Portal 2's co-op, because that game was all, and it's funny. It's actually funny because Quail and I last year played that game together. We did the whole co-op mission together, which was great.
That is cool because it's an entirely different story than the primary Portal 2 story.
Oh God, what a great game, man. You think they'll make another one of those?
I don't know, man. I think the answer to that is no. It's not a hard no, but Valve, I think, has a lot of other things on their plate before they ever get around to that again.
Yeah. Well, guess what we are getting again?
Say it.
Apparently, we're getting Last of Us 1 again.
There it is. There it is.
Perfect transition. 10 out of 10.
Yes, we have recently heard that Sony is prioritizing a remake of The Last of Us Part 1, a game that still, to this day, looks fantastic and is playable on would you still call a current gen console, a PS4 a current gen console?
It's playable on the PlayStation 5.
Yes, correct.
You can play the
PS4 version is playable there.
PS4 version is playable there.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
It's installed
within the past calendar year, PS4 was a current generation console, so that's where I'm going with that.
No,
I think
it's
that's
currently
acceptable.
installed on my PS5. I can play it. I was playing it on my PS5 when I first got it.
This actually comes out of the report from Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg. He reported that Sony, his headline is Sony's obsession with blockbusters is stirring unrest within PlayStation. And there's actually a lot of stuff in this article. So please go over there and read it. We're going to try and give our thoughts on what this means for PlayStation, or what we think this means for what, Sony is doing. But overall, one of the things that they talked about was their desire to remake The Last of Us 1. On top of that, Bend Studios, the creator of the Days Gone game that you've played, Felix, they pitched Days Gone 2, and they were rejected, and almost as if to be turned into a support studio for making The Last of Us 1. They even had an idea for a Days Gone multiplayer, which they were going to make for the second game. It was going to be like a cooperative experience. So Sony's making a lot of decisions here. Yeah.
But did that game actually do well?
Right.
Because I don't think it did.
And you're right. It didn't do as great as most of Sony's games have done. Your God of War and all the other Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, and all the Naughty Dog games. The problem is yes, I think Days Gone, while being a pretty good game in its own right, it's another zombie game. It's another open world zombie game, and people weren't really looking for that when you could find that pretty much everywhere, right? It's kind of a weird thing when Ben wants to keep making their games and Sony goes, no, we want you to do a game that we released in 2012. It's kind of like a weird place to put Sony in.
It's weird, man, because there was a time when we were championing Sony for everything as the leader of you name it in games, and Sony and PlayStation were doing it, right? And their thought process is no different than what it is now.
No.
It's no different. It's just the thing is other companies have caught up to what people that play games value overall. So sentiment is shifting to places like the Xbox, right? And Game Pass, where we're being given a lot of opportunities in games to play for less price, for more accessibility with friends. And that affects PlayStation because they're so stuck on being the narrative kings, the game and the place people go to for these in-depth experiences, for the first party development. But I think people value that less nowadays, but they're not changing their minds. And they're doing even more doubling down with The Last of Us specifically, especially with the TV show in development. So you mix this entire mindset they have together, and it's no surprise. It's just that right now, in the public eye, this doesn't add up to a win for Sony, but they're still hardlining it.
Yeah, but I remember a specific time between then, which was the memory we have of us championing Sony as being the highest quality game development. And I remember a time between then and now when Trip Zero was like, that's a copy-paste game right there. I remember you saying on this show on multiple episodes that you were not impressed with what Sony was doing with certain games, specifically God of War. Even though God of War ended up being amazing and I enjoyed it, I remember when I was going into playing it, Trip Zero, you're going to play this game, and you were like, no, they're just copy-pasting Last of Us on God of War. Because it's got a big guy and a young kid.
Yeah, and
he's carrying his son around.
It was a loose form fit from one to another. But there were definitely like visual alignments. There were like tonal alignments. Like these were things that Sony was like shipping. I don't mean literally. I mean just like they were like emotionally shipping. They were signaling to us that this is our brand. Our Days Gone, Last of Us, God of War, like this Uncharted, like this is you come to us for this.
Yeah.
For this gritty open world narrative. Just pick your poison and you can experience it here on our system.
And it started with Uncharted. I'll never forget when the first time I had this idea in my head that I wanted to get a PlayStation 3, which I didn't actually buy until years later when I bought it from somebody. But the first time I thought about getting a PlayStation 3 was when I was in a Walmart and a kid was playing one of the Uncharted, I think it was Uncharted 2, on the PlayStation 3, like in the Walmart. Or maybe it was a Best Buy. I can't remember. It was Walmart or Best Buy. And he's just playing it. And I just saw the scene in the staircase in this game where I think is it, Neo, which one is it where the house is on fire and you're trying to get out of the house? Is that 2? Or is it 3? I can't remember.
I feel like that's a lot of Uncharted.
Yeah, no, but this is like a whole...
I'm trying to think too, and there's a lot of like flaming escape moments.
Most of Uncharted is crazy shit's happening around you, and you're
which one introduced? I think it might be 3, because 3 introduced like these weird like melee like, fighting mechanics. So there's a part in 3 where they go to like an old house in the middle of like France or something.
Oh
like that.
yeah, and it's like crumbling, and
it's crumbling, and the whole house catches on fire, and then you're going up staircases to try and escape, fighting dudes and shit. And I watched this kid do that sequence, and I was like, "Whoa, man, this is like a fucking movie. I've never seen a video game this fucking cool." And that's where I think the Uncharted series is where they locked into this template of money making, a shit ton of money making.
Cinematic first player game, like single player games,
which offered them a giant return on investment on the games that they make with that selected IP. And then The Last of Us, they continued the legacy, another IP that knocked it out of the park. And remember, The Last of Us started as a completely fresh, unknown IP. We didn't know shit about that. Like that wasn't a derivative of some other game. It was an original idea about some weird zombie ant virus that fucking jumps to humans, and then the next thing you know, like they have this amazing game. So now they're getting stagnant, you think, guys? Like they're realizing that newer IP is not going to succeed because of the failure of Days Gone and the failure of other IP?
My concern is that they're becoming too reliant on the existing IPs that they have. And they're going back to the well, so to speak, with remaking Last of Us, which is a game that still holds up to this day, right? It is a game you can go back and play right now. It's not mechanically that much older than Last of Us 2. We played Last of Us 2 last year. Great game. They made lots of improvements on the first game. But, you can still go back and easily play The Last of Us 1. It holds up visually. There are tons of other PlayStation IPs that they could go back and remake. Jak and Daxter is probably a good example of a Naughty Dog game that they could go back to the well on and remake it in, like they're doing with Ratchet and Clank. Like they're reviving that series, right? Sony has tons of IPs that they went through in the PS4 era, not just their major blockbuster titles. They went through a period where they were cultivating indie-like studios and making these like amazing smaller titles. In the PS3 era, we got That Game Company. They made Flower and Journey, and they progressed onward from there. Like they made all these other studios the backbone of Sony's like lineup, not just your Naughty Dogs and your Insomniacs and all those other studios, but from what we're seeing now is a few months ago, they took, I think it was Japan Studio, the guys who make, oh my God, what do they make? They made, shit. Does anyone know? Do you know, Trip? Felix?
What do you? I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to describe. They make
Japan Studios a few months ago. They took them and they kind of repurposed them. They didn't dismantle this team, but they're not making them a major game studio now. They took Japan Studio and they kind of like said, okay, why don't you go support the rest of Sony's studios? Is almost what they did with Japan. Hang on, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It's like tickling the faintest
Here we go.
part of my brain.
February 26th. PlayStation confirms Japan Studios will be reorganized. They will be recentered around Team Asobi. These are the guys that made the Astrobot games. So the new that game that came free with PS5 and the VR challenge, the Astrobot VR Rescue game, which is a PlayStation VR game. So Japan Studios, what did Japan Studios make? I'm just
like you're talking about Sony primary, but Japan.
No, the studio was called Japan Studio.
Oh!
Didn't they make
different.
Tokyo that game with the animals?
Okay, I got a list here: Ape Escape, Legend of Dragoon, Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, Loco Roco, Patapon,
yeah, right.
Gravity Rush, Bloodborne. They did and Last Guardian, along with
got it.
and along with From Software. So yeah, they've been repurposed now as like a support studio for other studios. So it's kind of weird that now that we're beginning this new era of PlayStation, we started a new, the PS5 era has begun essentially. Sony almost feels like they're doing, I don't want to say they're reverting back to the way they were, but they're kind of playing it safe now. Like they're relying on IPs like The Last of Us and other things of that.
Yeah,
nature.
it's and I said this right like a couple minutes ago. I don't think they're reverting. They're staying exactly the same, which is the problem.
Yeah.
They're staying exactly the same. This is the same line of thinking they would have had when they were on the top. But with all the other advancements in what's valuable for gamers, it's now shooting them in the foot. So I'm 0% surprised.
It's kind of disappointing.
It is, but they have to want to have that foresight, and it's the same thing with Nintendo. So it might be like a Japanese mindset about how they run their companies or about how they define their products or their place in what they're providing to the world. This could be way off base, but like Japan's very honorable. You don't want to appear humble unless you've done something that you want to apologize for. They want to portray strength, and I think that element goes through every decision, including one where you'd be changing course of your entire studio to catch up with Microsoft and provide stuff for gamers, or provide good online access if you're Nintendo. You've got this mindset of I know what's good for me and my company, and I'm going to show you that by just fucking powering through.
Yeah.
And if it works, then you're the king of the world. If it doesn't work, then you do a big aggressive apology video. That's what's going to happen,
Mm-hmm. Well, we've seen examples of that, right? For example, at the start of the Xbox One PS4 era, we saw exactly that. Xbox was 100% in on always online console. This is a game and media center. We're going to give you the Kinect in every box. And they're like, this is the experience we want you to have, right? Everybody rejected that. That was a full-on rejection of that promise, and Xbox paid for it. Sony, on the other hand, they went all in on the games, right? That's what they did. They went all in on, we're a gaming machine. Share your games with everybody. It's all good. And that paid off for them, essentially. Nintendo does the same exact thing, right? They make those decisions as well. They don't fucking care about buddy lists, right?
No,
they like giving you the friend codes and the bullshit internet bullshit.
They know what they know, and that's the thing. And that's the problem. They're going to refuse to shift and change. So
yeah, they believe, all these companies believe, they go, well, we know what our customers want. We know what our fans want. And they're going to do it no matter what, right? I posted another article in the chat here that you can take a look at. this is from today. Naughty Dog, the headline is Naughty Dog says it's struggling with multi-project development. And the article essentially says that they have multiple projects in pre-production that they want to work on. And I don't know if this is tied to Jason Schreier's article or, it could be, right? All these things are connected. They're struggling with working on multiple projects. And again, last year, tons of report of Naughty Dog crunch, right? That was a huge issue for them leading up to the release of The Last of Us 2. Sorry, I got there.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't ever want to take it away.
Yeah, it's fine. Sometimes I have brain stuff. Guys, I'm sorry. My cat is going to ham on my backpack right now.
I thought he was out of the room.
Yeah, well, I went to go pee in the middle of you guys talking, and he came in.
You can't, man. You're letting him walk all over you.
That's why I shut the door, man.
Yeah,
Bugs can't get in.
All right, hang on. You guys keep it going. Keep it going.
Well, I mean, I don't really know what else to kind of unpack here, because I don't think we're going to see a difference in Sony unless they just like fucking really tank in their services. But the thing is that people that support Sony are going to support Sony. Like, and I think they're okay with being slightly behind from their perspective than trying to massively shift and regain everyone's favor, really. Like, I think they're going to at least wait until their projects pan out they've got so much invested in The Last of Us IP, and they're going to ride that as hard as possible.
Next year they have the HBO show comes out next year.
Yeah, so the reason they're fucking doing this is so that they can semi-market that show. Like,
you're 1,000% right about that.
A re-release of The Last of Us, like a remake of The Last of Us, even if the graphics are like dismally changed, to the point where we're all like, that's the same game. You just gave us the same fucking game over and over. What are you going to do different this time? I mean, maybe they're going to do something that's crazy where it's like photorealistic graphics and we're going to like lose our shit over it. Maybe.
But that's in this day and age, that's not going to carry the console.
But it puts the nugget in people's brains. Like, oh, The Last of Us. Oh yeah, like
right.
Dude, they've also started pre-production on a Ghost of Tsushima movie.
They got an Uncharted movie coming out too. They got the Uncharted movie coming out with Spider-Man.
I don't even remember his name right now.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, I did know about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, like Sony is shifting their perspective into a wider media than just the games. Far cry from what we saw in 2013 when they launched the PS4. We're just games. Get your games. We're making really good quality games that you enjoy. I don't mind getting multimedia formats, but I also like playing new things. And
yeah, for sure.
I know I don't speak for the general gaming audience, right? Like, people love what they're familiar with, right? That's why Madden sells gangbusters every year, right? Like, people like something familiar. But
yeah, but I think there have been a lot of people expressing the fact that they don't want this. It's too soon. I found nothing but people saying this. Like, whenever I dug into like replies and comments and people's like general opinions about this, no one wants The Last of Us again, because we've all played it and it's still great. It still holds up. You can play it right now and get the exact same experience. You can go from 1 into 2. I've done it, and there's barely a difference. And at that, like, Sony would have done this no matter what, but the fact that they're doing it with The Last of Us really shines a light onto their thought process about the value they put in their own first party IP.
Like, honestly, if anything, I would remaster Uncharted 1.
Yeah, 1,000%. That's a great idea.
That is a 2008 game. Early PS3 tech. Like, come on, make it a PS5. Add ray tracing. Give it that good upgrade. Give it that good shine, right? Like,
yeah, I don't care how good of a point you have about like remastering a game based on whatever criteria you have as a company. People are going to look at the pure years between the release and the remaster and make a judgment call on that. Like, what else are you going to do? This is not a conversation like Final Fantasy VII Remake, where the medium is entirely different. The play style is different. The art style is upgraded and updated. Like, that's a very obvious remake. What are you going to do with The Last of Us Part 2?
The remake is the Final Fantasy VII is like essentially a completely new game, right? Like, it's
Yes.
It's a new game with the same plot almost, right? Like,
and I just don't see what you're going to add to a remake of The Last of Us to provide value to a consumer.
Mhm.
There's nothing that I can think of, and I think that I'm someone who can think of a lot of pretty good things on a moment's notice, at least to give someone the benefit of the doubt, right? Like I can usually think of a list of reasons as to why to do something. I truly can't for Last of Us.
I mean, it's like, here, let me ask you this. Would you buy this remake?
No. They would have to demonstrate why I would need to buy it. But like, why would I buy it when I have the PS4 version of 1 on my PS4, and I can download it on my 5 whenever I get that console. Like, I've got that. It's a great experience. I just played it in the last year. No, I wasn't playing that game wanting anything else, you know? You know, when you're playing an old game and you're like, oh, I wish this had like this quality of life thing we all take for granted now in 2020.
I think that about Metal Gear Solid. I think about Metal Gear Solid all the time.
But that thought doesn't exist playing The Last of Us, because it's still a game of this like gaming generation. You know, like if we break away from like defining that hard with consoles, it's a modern game. It's a very modern game still.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do? What's the value? I don't think there is any. And they're just doing their thing, man.
It sounds like they're just following the Rockstar playbook. I mean,
yeah.
They're just fucking. Rockstar is going to keep milking GTA all the way up until, you know, they come out with GTA 6 and
until it's not the top 10 game.
And I haven't even so like, you know how the Ubisoft making Assassin's Creed games, it's fascinating what they do, because every single time they come out with a new game, it is in a really new, interesting location. Like, it sounds like with GTA 6, Rockstar's going to go back to like one of the cities they already did. Like, and I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like,
but you know, Felix, Liberty City, which was in GTA 3.
Yeah.
That's an old game now, right? Like
there is value in that. There's value in that.
There's more value in that.
Is it more exciting than a brand new city? Probably not.
Dude, they went to Liberty City in 3. They went to Liberty City in 4. 4 was also Liberty City.
Yeah, they've been tickling that nostalgia fucking button for a million years, dude.
Yeah, San Andreas did LA, and then they did LA again in 5.
Right.
Like, they're just ticking off the same boxes over and over again. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
They did something really interesting way back in the day, which was Grand Theft Auto 1969 London. And then they never did that ever. Game. They never did that ever again.
That would be cool. I didn't even know about that, honestly.
That was one of the top-down ones, right? Was that a top-down GTA? Yeah, I remember that.
The only thing that was a complete deviation that they did was what I used to call, when I was playing GTA 3, I used to go, you know, it'd be really cool if they made an old Western version of this and they called it Grand Theft Horse. I used to make that fucking joke when I was playing GTA 3.
Wow, you practically wrote Red Dead Redemption.
And then they said, let's make Red Dead Redemption, and they came out with that game. And I'm like, but that was even based on old IP. That was based on Red Dead Revolver. And then Red Dead, so Red Dead Revolver happened. And then
they said, let's fucking
make a big open
GTA
world.
this. Yeah, exactly.
Grand Theft Horse. And there were rumors a couple years ago where they said the new GTA 6 that's coming out is going to be a medieval game.
I'd play that shit, dude. Are you kidding me? I'd play a GTA medieval.
Where you're stealing carts.
Absolutely, I would,
carts.
Dude. Smashing people's houses with a fucking sword and a suit of armor. Absolutely.
Fuck, like,
I'd only play it if you actually walked like you had to walk in a suit of armor, like dumb and like.
That's what I'm saying.
Clinky,
my argument for that would be that night game I played a couple of years ago that took.
Was that Kingdoms of Amalur? Am I missing name with something else?
Kingdoms of Amalur is totally awesome.
No, it was that other one that got like
the one that was a bug mess.
Something Reckoning.
Kingdoms. No.
Kingdom Come?
No, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is Kingdoms of Amalur. You just said the same game.
No, but wasn't there a kingdom in the name? Something like.
Oh God, I can't remember. You're right, but it took place. What was so weird about that?
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Deliverance was.
And what was so crazy about that game is how specific they were because they were Czech. They were Czechoslovakian, and what was really crazy was that game took place specifically in a specific fiefdom from a specific time period
Oh, so
in
they were
Czechoslovakian history.
they were legit about it.
Yeah, it was like really a knight simulator. If you want to play a game that tries to simulate being a knight, that's it. Like that was a crazy game, and I played that for a couple months, but it was a bug fest.
Oh, I remember.
They leaned hard into like the realism.
Yeah, they did.
They were like, someone out there is going to really dig this, and I think a lot of people did. Still, more of a bold choice than what Sony's doing, and that goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm honestly really worried about what we're going to get this generation with the PS5.
I agree with Jason Schreier. Like, they're not gonna. They're a company. They're a major corporation that does not want to deviate from their return on investment. The only way that this wins is if they don't get a return on investment.
Right. No, you're absolutely
what
right.
I mean? Like that's it. Where they have to come up with a new strategy.
But like looking at the pipeline right now, we're getting the new Horizon 2, right? We have God of War 2, the remake. Oh, I'm sorry, the reboot of God of War 2, right? We got untitled, Naughty Dog game, which is probably this remake of Last of Us 1.
Yes.
We got.
Dude, all they got to do is take their character models and smooth them over, like
Spider-Man 2.
Oh my god.
And meanwhile, Xbox, they fucking bought every studio under the sun, right? So they have Starfield, they have Elder Scrolls 6, they have this whole lineup of games under their belt that they can just call.
Sony could keep making the same kind of game, right? Because like at a certain point you're going to be playing a similar kind of game no matter who was putting it out or what who's designing it or what the actual modes are inside of the game. But like, dude, just put a game out anywhere else. Put a game, set it in, I don't know, pick a random city in the United States and then set it there and make up a story and let people explore. Like, I know that sentence just sounds like incredibly naive and there's a lot more work that goes into it, but like, I don't know, man, set it in like a cool European city. Where's a game in like modern day France? I'd play that game. Let's have like international tourism through video games. That would probably grab some heads. Yeah.
That's what Assassin's Creed's for, right?
True, but like, they're all like ancient, I was like, oh, you could play Paris in like AC Unity, but it's old.
The closest they get to the modern times is the Belle Epoque, which is the late 19th century. You get to play it's one of those like schisms in the fucking Animus, and you walk into this like giant. It's almost like a giant portal.
Give me an Ever Given simulator. Let me try to pilot a ship down the Suez Canal. I play the fuck out of that game. Can someone just put out something that's interesting to play that's not The Last of Us Part 1, Part 2? What do we call it? The Last of Us Part 1, Take 2? Yes.
Last of Us Part 1, Take 2.
So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to hang on and see where Sony's going, but I'm not excited about it.
We could revisit this after E3 when Sony makes their big presentation.
Yeah. It's at this point now I'm curious to see what they show, because if it's all stuff like this, then I'm out. I'm hard out. I'll probably buy a series, whatever they decided to call them this year, Xbox. I'll buy one of those. I'll buy an Xbox before I buy a PS5.
Yeah.
They care. They're making money either way, right? Based on these decisions, obviously, but that's where I'll be spending most of my time if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, on that note, you guys, this has been the Emerging Gamer Podcast. Thank you for joining us this week for another talk of video game magnificence. I'm Neo Ayoshi. You can follow me at twitter.com/Neo_Ayoshi, twitch.tv/Neo Ayoshi. Back streaming, it looks like. No schedule yet. I'm just going to hit live when I can. I'll tweet it out, so you'll have to look there for when that happens. Playing It Takes Two and Monster Hunter Rise at the moment. Maybe some Warzone in between. And I'll see you on the net. Felix.
This is Felix Hergood. You catch me at Felix Hergood on Twitter. I'm out and about, people. I'm around.
He said I'm out.
We love to see it.
I'm out and about. Oh my god. Felix Hergood. I'm out and about.
Drip Zero.
What's up, guys? Thanks for listening and watching. If you do watch us live, I'm Trip Zero. You guys can find me on the internet at Trip Zero TV. I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and right now I'm doing my 100% run of Stardew Valley. We are so close to the end of this. It's so exciting. Please come by and check it out. Maybe Thursday, maybe Monday, who knows, but it's going to happen before the next show. I feel it. And then all my socials are also Trip Zero TV, so I'm very easy to find. Thanks for listening and hanging.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Later.
See ya.